We'll try this again. Hello guys, I apologise for that. I'm not having very good luck when it comes to camera stuff at the moment. It just doesn't like me at the moment, which is annoying. I have no idea why that died. I will try and fix that for the next one, which I've got to explain about that later. If you could like, share the stream again for me while I just get this all sorted. Bloody thing. Technology, ain't it great? Put that down. Give me a minute, guys. This has been an absolute nightmare. I read your comment from earlier, Callum. I'll get to it in a minute. Right. There we go. There we go. That is going to have to do for now since everything's buggered up. I apologise about that. I pretty much have a love-hate relationship at times when it comes to using the camera to stream. Sometimes it's fantastic. Other times it really goes. No, it's fine. It's fine, Callum. I don't mind. Yeah. It's just that thing at the minute where we got a lot to talk about today. There we go. Everything's okay. Put that in 1080p. Let's retweet this out. I apologize about this, guys. This has gone to shit. Sums up my day, actually. So I wasn't really going to do a stream tonight. I was going to leave it for tonight because I'm not really in the mood for streaming, if I'm perfectly honest. But I'm committed to it, so I'm going to do it. So where were we before everything went to crap? We were talking about Fourth Diary, weren't we? Right. So Fourth Diary had the situation where he had now got a 6-match ban, and it's now got the situation where apparently the FA is more above the law. So if you ever have a situation where you're getting burgled and stuff like that, don't call the police anymore. Call the FA, because apparently they'll get things done. So we have a situation where we had a funny feeling this was going to be coming. The timing in it for us sucks just because of how things are at the minute. Things are not great with the club, i.e. no manager, 8 days till the transfer window shuts or something like that. And we're still short of players. We really are short of players. So we have to be very careful what we do, and whoever comes in has got to be the right person. Right, I'll read you the thing now, Callum. I think we should go for Ali Hafsi on a free transfer for backup keeper. What's your thought? He's a very good keeper. He's a very good keeper, but at the same time, now people are now starting to understand why I wanted us to get a backup keeper just in case. We now do actually now need one. I wouldn't mind Fraser Forster, but the problem is Fraser Forster wouldn't be coming here to be backup. He would come in here to try and be starter, and we kind of already got that with Westwood. Glad Bez is appealing it. Just hope the fat arsehole don't give him extra. I don't think they can give him extra, DJ. I'm pretty sure they can't actually give him extra. I don't think it's like if you suddenly get a red card and you appeal it and they give you extra. I actually don't think that is the case. So we'll see what happens with that one. I actually don't think they can actually do that. So if that's the case, fantastic. He only gets that ban, but it does put us in a very tricky predicament because we've now got a situation where we've got Fortieri, who is one of our big creative players who's going to be missing, but we've got Harris and Adrabaya, who look like they've got that creative flair as well. And we've got Kieran Lee back in the fray. So it'll be very good to see if we can have them on all cylinders and see what we can do there. If we can have them on all cylinders and everything going right, that'd be fantastic, especially Lee. I didn't realize until they did that video montage when he signed that how many goals he gets, how many goals we actually lack from him. Good about who, and Phil, he was the only one that will brought the spirit and confidence up to the level we have with Bruce. You're saying that about Connor, about the spirit, but if you look at things on Instagram and Instagram stories, I don't think there's a problem with the player spirit. I really don't. I think the players are actually being very professional with how they're getting on. They are literally getting on with the job. They know what's going on behind the scenes and stuff in terms of there's a new manager coming in. They are actually doing very well at just getting on with the job. And you've got to give them credit for that, to be fair. Because they could have crumbled and gone, all right, we're putting tools down because we don't know what's going on. But they're going into this with an open mind. But to be fair, if we win the first couple of games and stuff, and the players that are giving 100% in the games that we play, even if we lose some, as long as they're giving 100%, I don't think there'll be a problem with the fans. The fans at the minute are still very pissed off with Steve Bruce. It's that situation where we have to see what happens now in that sense. Not play such. Hi mate, how do you hi mate, now better that, what do you reckon now? I reckon we've lost a very creative player again. It feels a bit like when we had him for a little bit of the season last year and then he got injured and then didn't get to play. So he's out for 6 games. So that is, bear in mind, one of the games may not get played at the moment due to what's happened with Paul Berry. And if anyone doesn't feel sorry for him, being a Wednesday fan, it's mental. You should do. You should really feel sorry for them. We were nearly in that position a couple of years ago. So, Bears will miss the Reading, Barnsley, Millwall, Luton, and Preston game. So, it'll miss until the 24th of August, pretty much. It's not great, but it's only 6 games. That's what we have to think about, in a sense. It's only 6 games that we are actually losing out here. There was another contest. So, yes, it's going to be annoying, but it's 6 games. So if we can get it sorted, it'll be fine. But we need to get someone in as the manager ASAP. That is our biggest concern right now. We need to have the manager situation sorted, and that needs doing ASAP. But it's got to be the right person. Think we can cash in on Fez, be honest, mate. Let someone else. I agree with that. I don't mind cashing in on Fortieri at all. But who can buy him in the UK when he's got a 6-match ban? And to be fair, we need to be cashing in on him anyway because his contract is up at the end of the season. There's a lot of players who contract is up at the end of the season. You've got the situation who would get him as well. And what would we want for him in return? Because we've seen how Fortieri opinion is different with different people. But you've also seen how Chansiri is when it comes to actually selling players. He's really bad at not selling players. He just got this thing. He wants what he paid for him. Technically, Fortieri, we could probably get more than what we paid for him anyway. But in that situation, you've got to see what happens. But if we lose, then gain some fun for say blah blah because I know what you're saying, Glenn. I know exactly what you're saying. But we're probably going to have that anyway if Bullen, because we don't have a new manager in charge yet. We're probably going to get that when Bullen loses his first game. When Bullen loses his first game, we're going to have that situation where everyone can go, he's not good enough. What are we doing? Why are we pissing about not getting the manager in? This should have been done before the first game of the season. We're going to have that anyway. whatever happens, the fans are going to get on it back. So we're going to have that situation anyway. As much as it's a risk, I'm starting to think that might be worth giving Bullen to see how he does. I actually wouldn't mind giving Bullen a chance. At the end of the day, let's be fair, he does deserve it. If he thinks he's ready for the step up, then great. Because you've got the situation now that we might have the situation where if Bullen does get the job and it don't go well, yes, you've got that situation. He may lose a bit of the thing with the fan, but I doubt it because of the way he was thrown into it. It's more him getting thrown into the job than actually him applying for the job, if that makes sense. But if he doesn't take it, there's a possibility he might start looking at League One, League Two, starting to get that experience to start managing and try and come back and manage Wednesday at some point and see what happens there. So it's interesting to see what happens. I'd like to give him a chance. Worth a try to see what happens, but at the same time, it's not down to us and it's not down to him. It's down to our chairman. As much as pity FSA will lose his shot and so he can't play. I don't think he can play for the under-23s. I think it's a full-on ban all over the place. I don't think it can happen. What makes me say the 2 preseasons, including the preseason, then bam, him again hitting the club where, yeah, it is. The timing sucks. But it very much been the Wednesday preseason of bad timing. Let's be honest with you. This timing for us in this preseason has been ridiculous. In terms of how we've been on the pitch, we've been fantastic. We've done really well. We've scored a lot of goals. It's actually going to give Bullen a bit of a nightmare when it comes to picking strikers come the Reading game because they've all been on fire. But now he knows he can't get fourth there. It's one thing he got to do. Not happy with the manager's but who comes in now? Good luck at what, and we got go from there. Yeah, I think we're either gonna have the situation, Jimmy, where a new manager comes in, he don't have time to get anyone in, he gets a couple of loans in, and that's it. Or we're gonna have the situation where there's some players that were already on Steve Bruce's list that we're going to go for and see if we can get them in, or like you said, wait until January. But if we wait until January, we are missing some key players. And there's still that situation. There's still a lot of good free agents out there which we can sign whenever. So if it did come to puff, we could actually do that and get some good free agents in. We've already got some decent free agents in, to be honest. So we would have to see what happens. Hi, Stuart. I'm not too bad. How are you, mate? Norwich are cheeky. Norwich are a bit cheeky with what they've done in the past, but at the end of the day, it's what it is. The shirt is very nice. I picked mine up on I think it was this weekend, actually. Picked it up this weekend. I like it. I wanted to get it quite quickly before they start getting ones in with the sponsorship on. I think this looks really, really good. It's smart by the club to go in retro because they're starting to understand the fan base a bit better when it comes to marketing side. There's a lot of older fans that are retro fans, and the younger fans are understanding that as well. So if this is a kid's first shirt and he sees there's no sponsorship, it might be that whole situation. Well, we're used to this. This is how I think football shirts should be. It should be a badge. Whoever made it, no sponsorship. But I'm a realistic person, and I know sponsorship is what brings the club money and what we need. So it's interesting in that sense. Let's have a look. Yeah, the lad who we just got from Wimbledon, I think it was a free. I think for under 23s. I think he'll be good. He's a very strong player. I think we could do some decent stuff there, but it will be interesting to see how we get on with him and what happens closer to the time. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And it is a typical Wednesday kind of signing where we're having to bring in someone who we are looking at in the future. We have done this in a couple of times. Hey, Jay, how are you? Hope you're well, mate. Do you really want to have to be rebuilding job? Because to be fair, the rebuilding job isn't going to be this season, mate. The rebuilding job is going to be next year. This season, I think, was meant to be a rebuild and see what happens. But now, with what's going on with the whole situation, manager-wise and all that lot, it completely changed. The whole situation now has gone completely on its head. We have no idea what's going on whatsoever. It does put us in a bit of a... I always said the rebuilding job was always going to be next season, when you look at how many players we have got out of contract next season. But that's if we've got the money to do so. I am trying to read your comments as fast as I can, by the way, guys. There's a lot here today, which I really appreciate. If you can answer, if you're new here, please subscribe. I am 5 away from 500 subscribers, which would be fantastic, considering the channel was dawdling at the end of last season between 420 and 430. So I've had a massive fight since doing the live stream. So you obviously all like these, and I really do appreciate it. Rose is worth at least 3 million. Rose is worth that, Ethan, but we also have a chairman that has he doesn't know how to sell footballers yet. The one side of his game that he doesn't know yet is how to run a football club as a chairman. That is the part of his game that he's struggling with, and to run it as a football. The problem is that he wants either too much money for people he got already, and he thinks he wants what he can afford for them, what we pay for them, or it's the case that he wants he's overvaluing, i.e. like Zhao. Zhao was one of the ones where I don't actually believe that was the case, but it is that situation where you have that thing. But 3 million is a good price for Jordan Rose, especially if he can do it in the Premiership, which I kind of think he could actually. The main reason why I think Bullen will be good, the players respect him, the fans respect him, he even identifies what positions we need, providing we can get them on the cheap. That is all very good and said, Chris, and I agree with you 100%. The only bit where Bullen lacks is the contacts in the game. That is the only bit where, if we did get Bullen, I'd rather have Bullen and then a director of football. So Bullen can concentrate on the coaching and then have someone else looking for players, but players having a bit of Bullen's input as well. That's how I do it if we gave Bullen the job. Now, the problem you've got is that we have to look at it however we do it. It's going to be careful with how we play things. That's how I personally do it. I think it would be really good if we could, but it would be interesting to see what happens. On a bright side, the preseason, we've done well, no injuries except Joe. Yeah, Joe getting injured is a bit of a shame. I thought he could have some chances this season. But apart from that, no injuries. Obviously shows you that Tony's doing a really good job, who come in the sports scientist. He's a big person to have in. It looked like the things that Steve Bruce was starting to put in place are slowly starting to happen, and things are working. Hopefully we can keep that going and see what happens there, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. Gary Cahill I could see Gary Cahill coming back, but I don't know how much of a weight cut he would take. He would have to take a massive weight cut to come to Wednesday. And if it's Hart ruling to play here, he'd probably take it. But at the same time, he would only be on a 1-year contract. He would definitely show up the defence. But you've seen it when Villa did it with John Terry. It did work, but there were times where he got completely redone. He got absolutely hounded with pace, and that becomes a problem. So it'll be interesting to see how we get on in that situation. I still personally think we could get a better centre-back than Gary Cahill in terms of age and wages, in a sense. Will the sponsor be the same as the game on Sunday? No, Stuart. It seems like it's looking like that could be a one-off now and again. It could be some games we have that as a sponsorship, some games we don't. What they said, it's a great partnership. They said that if you look at actually what's happening with the kids' shirts, if that is the case, I don't think Chansiri's lad will be wearing a kit that said Chansiri on it. I actually think this is one of those ones where we've done a good deal for it. We see what happens, see what money comes in. It's just trying to get different money stream coming in, because we are really bad at marketing as a club. So I'll be interested to see what happens. I'm extremely frustrated with our youth setup. Need to loan out our big young players. Yeah, I understand you being frustrated, Callum, about the youth setup, but it's one of those situations. The youth setup is very, very good. We have actually got a decent youth setup going forward. The problem we've got is having that. We've never been able to have that really good integrating the youth to stepping up to go into that next bracket. But the problem is we've got a very good youth setup that are playing against kids their own age. There's a load of them that need to go out on loan. They need to go out on loan. They need to go play in League One, League Two, get battered a bit, learn to live away from the comforts as such as being at the club. And it all depends. Like we had it last season where Jack Dobbs went on loan at Port Vale and he didn't really do anything. He kind of played a bit of a big time Charlie and he came back and Port Vale didn't want him after that. And I only know that because I've got a Port Vale mate. No reason. Not what I'm saying. I'm on about the next season. Therefore, I will. I think we get to promote the season. Otherwise, we may also lose sell Battle for free. Oh, I get what you mean now, Glenn. Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting one because next season will be the rebuild, and if we're gonna make any money, it'll be January transfer window because at the moment you don't see him selling Fletcher. Bez, Rhodes, you don't see him getting rid of the big earners who we got on the books this season before the start of the season, especially now Bruce had gone. And one of the big problems is he inflates the prices of the players, so it makes it very hard to get money back. We need to start becoming a buying and selling club. Now, it was a period where people used to hate it because we used to be selling our top assets, but now we've got a situation where we need to start actually doing that or we're going to struggle. We need to start doing it, but he does tend to put high value on players, so that's where we get problems. Connor, we have no chance of getting promotion this season. Connor, that's very big talk for you to say we haven't kicked the ball yet. That's extremely big talk to say we haven't started yet. The teams the problem is this is probably going to be one of the most open championships season that there's been for a while. There's no one you can really actually look at and go, they're going to get promoted. It could be another shock season like last season. To be fair, people had Norwich and United tipped to go up, but when they actually started doing it, people were still going for Middlesbrough. They were still going for Derby. They were still going for all that kind of stuff. So they were still going for all that kind of situation. So it's one of those things where you got to be very careful what you wish for, in a sense, because at the end of the day, we have to. There's only so much we can do before we get going. Top 10 would be a good finish considering the start of the season we've had, i.e. no manager and stuff. But until we get a manager, until we get something set in stone, you can't really say where we're going to end up yet. We've not started. I don't like looking at a league table and predicting where we're going to be until Christmas. I never have done. Chansiri didn't come to Wednesday just to call out. He did say he wanted... Didn't he say he wanted Premier League in 3 years? I think I think the chairman... He did want Premiership in 3 years. In theory, in hindsight, he shouldn't have said it. He shouldn't have said when he wanted his thing because it put a lot of pressure on himself. But I think he might have done that on purpose. But at the same time, it's proved to him that this is a lot harder challenge than he first thought. So he's going to have to play it smart. It wasn't a case of throwing money at it. Back in the Leicester days, the QPR days and stuff like that, you could throw as much money at it as you like and then you get up and then you just have to throw more money at it. And I think he was hoping he could do that. He bought the club at the wrong time. Ideally, we could have done with him buying the club the year we got promoted to the Championship when Milan was in charge. We could have done with him actually buying the club then. Then he could have thrown money at it and then we could have sorted it. But at the same time, we've got to be careful with doing that because we don't want to be in that position again. I'd be happy with top 10 considering players out of contract. Rowe, Winnell, Fletcher, Fortieri, Lee, Hutt, Palapusi, Fox, Baker, Penny, Dawson, youth player Kirby, Dobbs, Jack Lee, and Devon. Like I said, Callum, there's a lot of players out of contract, and it could be a situation that he say, let's have a look. Say he keeps Fletcher, he keeps Bez, he keeps Hutch, he keeps Palapusi, and he keeps Dawson, and the rest go. It could be that could be something he actually looks at doing. But at the same time, we don't know what's going to happen. If we have a great season, if we start doing well, we've got to think about what happens. But Chansiri will not be happy with top 10. Can't believe we didn't sell Jones inside. We have the thing is, you got to think that we had the opportunity to sell Jones and we never did. The problem we got is that at the moment we do not sell players. We just don't. At the moment we do not sell players. Full stop. And that is due to Chansiri and his the way he does business at the minute. The way he does business at the minute is that he still needs to learn that side of the game. Chansiri have thrown so much money in, and we can't get on his back. This is the bit where he just needs a little bit of help here. At the end of the day, yes, he will have seen it as a risk, but it's what's going to happen. Yeah, exactly. What's the latest on the new manager story? Haven't been covered. New manager story, the same as what we knew last week, to be fair, mate. The only thing that we think we know, and we think Houghton turned us down, which is what we thought we knew again anyway. We thought he's already turned it down once, and I think he turned it down again. So that's all we know on the manager situation. Right now, it's Bullen for the time being, and that's it. I will get to the comments, guys. I just got to take him away. I've never had this many comments in, actually. Callum, we had that on the Joss. You're saying that, but Joss did that. Joss literally blended in youth and senior squad. The only problem is that he alienated the wrong senior players. We do need to do that. You're right. We do need to bring in youth players. We do need to do a Leeds United, find a Jack Clark, sell them for 18 million, loan them back for the season. We need to do that. But at the minute, we're not there yet. We will do it. But at the minute, we've got to try and see what happens. It's going to be tough, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But we need to be better. He needs better advisors around him. A bit naive when he first came. I hope he's learned from him to say. It's a weird one when it comes to Chansiri and his advisors. He's very much one of these people that he sticks to his principles. This is how he's going to do it, and he's always shown that. Yes, his advisors suck. Yes, Doyle and Butt took up a shit ton of money. They really did. They seem to be less of them in now, but at the same time, he's still learning. He's still learning how to run a football club, and he'll still be learning at the end of the day. We just got to see what happens. He might get better advisors. Hopefully he does, but we'll have to see. He have made mistakes, and he's slowly starting to learn from them. The only problem we got is that he's learning from them, but he's also not learning that in the football business you have to sell players to make money. So we've got to be interesting on that one. I will take Rowett. He worked on a budget of Bowen. Rowett's a difficult one because he fits into the same category as Steve Bruce for me. He didn't show his loyalty when he was at. He didn't have to really show his loyalty when he was at Burton, but he didn't show his loyalty when he was at Birmingham. He didn't show his loyalty when he was at Derby. The moment Stoke came in, he left. Rowett got a bit of the same kind of thing for me as Bruce. I don't know how loyal he would be if the next big club turned up. Would he be off? I go, I want to go speak to, say, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a club coming. Say Crystal Palace come down. And they go, we want to go speak to Gary Rowett. And will he do the same again and be like, right, I'm off to go speak to these? He's done the same. So I have to take it quite interesting with that one. I believe we can't blame Chansiri. He's done very well. I don't think Glenn was blaming Chansiri. I think he was just saying he needs to learn from what he's doing. And it's one of those things. What do you predict formation and lineup will be on Saturday? I think we'll go for 4-4-2. I think he's gonna start possibly Fletcher and Rhodes up top. He may even start Fletcher and Winnall, but I think it might be Fletcher and Rhodes up top, just because I don't see. I can see Zhao coming off the bench, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. At the end of the day, it's very hard to pick formations and lineups this early on for us as fans, because we've only seen the preseason stuff. It's been a disjointed preseason off the field. What we might have known in preseason before Bruce, we would have had an idea who's who. But it's been so disjointed, it's hard not to. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. This stuff. Callum Corner not on loan. What are you on about, Callum not on loan? You mean the youth players? Because the youth players are not going to get into our first team. We have way too many players. If you look how many players we got, we just don't have enough players to kind of thing. And to be fair, the youth players need to fight to get into that position. You're going from last season's youth team, which was really good, but this season's youth team have got to show it again. You gotta let youth team players go out on loan. You can't throw. Sometimes you can't throw just a youth team player into a championship game and he not be ready. I'd rather a youth team player go on loan, get a bit of experience, like Thornley did. Went to Atkinson Stanley, came into the game in the first team and did really well. That's how you got to do it. So good saying give youth players a chance, but they've got to be good enough. We're not going to get players in just because they're young. Exactly. You're very true there, Connor. They've got to be right. And there's so many youth teams around the country which have got so many good players in for, say, League One, League Two level, but they don't sometimes make the championship grade. So you have to see what happens on that one. At least all our players will be in contention, unlike Abdi and Jones. Yeah, you hope so. You hope that's going to say. You hope that's the same. Whoever comes in as well. The problem is for a lot of people, it's going to be a very interesting. It's going to be a clean slate for everyone again. We got to get that balance right, and it'll be a clean slate. Whoever happens, so we'll see what happens. DC seems very nice and silly with transfer from outside. Callum, DC is a businessman. He's not done football, man. He's not run a football club before. He's 5 years into doing this. He's so used to running a business where your employees don't get, you don't get it where you get a transfer window every 2 seasons and they could go. He's still new to running a football club. Yes, he still hasn't got the right people around him. He needs to start lowering some of the prices of the players if he wants to get rid of them. That has been one of the problems we've had. He either wants too much for them and he wants close to what he paid for them, and some of them are not worth that. One of the examples I put for you, Lucas Zhao. I think he thought Lucas Zhao, when we signed him, should be about there now at this point, and he could sell him for 15, 16 million. But he's still like there. He's good on his day. He's very good, but he sometimes just looks uninterested, like Glenn said. And he reminds me a lot of Jermaine Johnson. JJ reminds me. Yeah. Lucas Zhao reminds me of JJ. On his day, can be unplayable and looks interested, but 9 times out of 10, he's got to be in the right frame of mood, and he's not consistent enough. That is the problem with JJ. Lucas Zhao is just not consistent enough. Rowett is a no for me. Rowett brother for now. Rowett still an odd one for me. I still have to be interested to see what happens with that one. The whole situation with Rowett and Monk, no. Pulis, no. You're kind of running out of options though. If we're going down the Portuguese route, like it sounds like we might be doing, it could be the Wolves assistant, but you don't know. But he's now looking at players in work and out of work, which he wasn't doing at one point. He was looking at the ex-Schalke manager at one point, who's 33 and looked very good. Got a very good eye for talent. His transfer policy when he's been at clubs is they don't sign anyone under 26. They don't sign anyone over 26. So it's under 20. under 26s only, and buys them quite cheap and sells them quite big. I like that in a manager. I love that. Going from under 23 to a massive step up. That's why you need to send them out on loan to lower games to get experience. I don't think they're good enough though, Glenn. Otherwise, they will. Our youth players are not staying put then in the deep end. But look at Claire and Thornley. He did well. Yeah, but Claire was being a greedy twat. We put a contract in front of him. He didn't sign it. A lot of the ones who have left recently, i.e. Claire Hurst, they've been represented by big money, greedy bastard agents. Claire wanted more money and he wanted a guarantee that he was going to get first team football. Now, he's gone to Hearts and he's played fantastically well. He's done really, really well. I'm not going to lie. I'm gutted we don't have Claire at the club. I thought he was an excellent player. I thought we could have got something from him. But at the same time, you don't want a player who's going to come in from the youth team and go, I should be an automatic starter. If you're a player at any club, you should earn that place. You should earn it. And there was a lot of things with the Clare thing that we had. A lot of it was down more. Sean Clare stuff was more about his agent looking for a better deal for him and trying to move him down south, which in the end sent him up north. But he's doing well in Scotland, and people won't like me. My wife won't like me for this, but the Championship and the Scottish Premiership is very much similar levels, so it makes sense. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Where was I up to? I hope I'm proving wrong, but I think Bullen does get the job long term, and we have to have some bad results for Affinity Rules, and I've went the legend will be over, and he don't deserve the hassle. To be fair, Glenn, at the end of the day, yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I always said it beforehand. I don't think players should become managers at times. I really don't. I think you should stick to your legacy being you play for them, and that was it. I don't like this whole thing of that players becoming the managers. I've always said that from the start. I think it's always should be you leave what you did, and that's it. You leave it as what you did in the past. No need to go back. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. It could be a bad one for Bullen, but I don't see Bullen leaving the area anytime soon. In one sense, because his wife had got and him have got an estate agent business, so it will be very interesting to see what happens there with it. Thornley came from Everton. He's not our youth player. Yeah, he did came from Everton, but he's really good. He played in the youth, but he was signed on a youth contract. What he's saying is, Lucas, he won top football. When he's doing well, continue to do well. When he's doing poor, he does poor and panic. Great player, but I think he'll get better. We need to be proved to it. It needs to be proved on that one. I don't think Cooch is the answer anyway. What I heard was Claire's agent was asking for a lot of money from the club. It was a lot to do with Claire's agent, but it was also Claire wanted a guarantee he was going to get first team football. And the problem is, at that point, I think there were too many people ahead of him and he wanted to play, which I completely understand. I completely understand him saying that. But we did have a situation. There was a contract, a very good contract in front of him. And it was something like he wanted the guarantee that we were going to play first team football. We couldn't give it him. We said, maybe he'll break in and he can go get football. But he also said he wanted more money. But his agent said he wanted more money. So I don't know if that was the agent trying to get him off the top and that way and do it that way. But that's what happened. It's one of those things where you've got to be... It's a difficult one. It's a very, very difficult one because at the end of the day, Claire was a good player. But remember, Claire was there at the same time when we were trying to sort something out for Hurst as well, around the same point. So we had lots of problems. Our communication when it comes to agents isn't great. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Scottish League is a farce compared to the Championship. No, I think they're on the same level, mate. It's only a farce because there's only two teams technically in it. But if you think of competitive level, it's very much like the Championship in a sense. Can you imagine if Bullen does get full time and winds us the champions? Hey, what? It takes us phone. His legacy would be fantastic if he won the championship. It would be brilliant, and his legacy would still go down. I could actually see him getting to the Premiership and turning around to Chancery and maybe going, right, I've got us to the Premiership. It's where we want now. Can you get me a manager? Can you get a manager now in that going to be able to do something on a Premiership level? Because I don't want that job. That would be fantastic. Legacy would be brilliant. A friend of mine said he spoke to Junior Agger and spoke to him and Earl Ballot in the Rosen time. He said he wanted. If he wanted to buy the club. That'll be interesting. If that's the case, then brilliant. Wins, I believe in Lee. Any certificates in Clare contract? I'm only going on what I heard, Callum. I didn't have the bloody contract in front of me. I'm only going on what I heard from people who I know. They weren't going to tell me the bits in the contract, are they? Come on, be realistic. They're not going to find out what's in the contract. I'm not going to find out what was in the contract. Let's be realistic on that one, Callum. At the end of the day, a lot of the situation, and to be fair, I have the situation when it comes to the whole old school, old players that are already gone. We really need to we really need to have the situation. A player who was good, we let them go. It's the whole Vardy thing again. We are very, very good at having a good player, but then turning around and say they're not good enough or when they actually are. But at the time, we can't do it. We did it with Cantona. We had Cantona, for God's sake, on the books, and he didn't sign because Francis said he couldn't play on grass. How wrong was he? We are just very, very bad at having good young players and then not giving them a chance. I'll admit that. We are very, very bad at not judging them and giving them a chance. We are very, very bad at rushing into it. And the problem is with players now, you have to see what happens. Tolkien Bruce reminds me of Tyson Fury. Yep, I remember that, Callum. No, he wanted the job, but I heard that Argo had some health problems recently, so I doubt it. Oh, that'll be interesting then, if that's the case. But we'll have to see what happens there. To be fair, there's a lot of stuff that's so much in the air at the minute. It really is interesting to see what happens. It would be interesting to see if he came, but it's another one of those things. It's a risky player. Manager in a sense. It would be a risk to have that person in the manager, but at the same time, you would have to see what happens. The problem is it's going down the whole player route, and I don't like it. And I doubt it's gonna be someone like that. I think he's either going to give it to Bullen for a bit and see what happens, or he's going to he's either going to find another foreigner or he's going to find another. So we're either going to end up with another Carlos or we're going to end up with a Rowett or someone like that. Let's have a look at this person you told me about. Is he a free agent, Callum? It's all right putting these names in front of me, but at the same time, he's not a free agent, pal. And he got a valuation of like 5 million. We're not going to spend that on a player. There's no way. The fans are still in dark, but at the same time, we're in the dark, but you have to also remember, and this is one of these things that I have with the club, is in the world of social media, we do have the issue where we all want to know what's going on. We all have things that we want to find out what's happening and stuff. And because of social media is so instant, when we don't have any information coming to the club, we get very careful. But to be fair, I think actually on this one, Chancery is doing the right thing by not saying who we're going after. I think this is the right thing by turning around and saying nothing kind of thing. Because personally, I think it green volumes that Chansiri taking his time. How many times have we had it where we said we're in for a player and then the player, we've gone to get the player and the price has then rocketed, or say we're in for a manager and then something else happens? I think this is the right thing to do with this one. So we'll see what happens. Gattuso would be fun. I think his precons would be hilarious. Jill, just asking your new base level amount of the year wages. Low, but honestly, I think he could have been a great player, important, but we can't bow down to him like Man U. And to be fair, Colin, all I was literally saying on that one is when you ask me, do I know what the contract situation? No one really knows what the contract situation is because no one's actually gonna properly find that out unless they know the agent or the player. The thing with things like that is, at the end of the day, it was a mixture of first team football and they wanted more money. I think it was a case of we couldn't actually guarantee first team football because we wanted him to earn his place. I have that situation where if a player comes in and he goes, I want first team football, it comes across as, well, you're going to knock someone else's place nose out of joint when you say that, when they come in. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'll just give it Bullen, get it sorted. Dragging on for too long. It is dragging on a bit too long, but at the same time, you have the situation where you want to get it right. Look how long it apparently took us to get Bruce sorted. Bruce was a long one before it actually got done, and everyone was saying, and if you haven't noticed, he does like to take his time when he picks the right bloke, and he got to do it. If it's a free transfer, then great, but it depends how much he wants in wages, mate. DC to keep best shot is the best thing. Yep. Do I have any expectation for this season? There will be a video out Thursday or Friday with an expectation and a preview to the game. But I think we're going to be top 10. I think we're going around 8th or 7th. I think we might just miss out, but that all depends on who comes in as manager at the minute. I'm going for 7th or 8th for me. If we can consolidate that and then do a proper rebuild next season, I think that's the way to go. Because now Bruce is gone, it now throws everything out the window and we have to start fresh. And with so many players out of contract, we're going to have to rebuild. And it all depends what our situation are when we put our finances in again as well. Honestly, think Big Sam would do us worth a lot of money though. He would want a lot of money, and it all depends if Big Sam would want it. I have a funny feeling Big Sam quite happy just to be a pundit now and not really do the managing thing and see what happens. To be fair, I don't know if Bronkhurst was actually spoken to. You got to remember, people saying Bronkhurst, and even I said it, we don't know. We don't know who's on the shortlist. We don't know if he's talking to. I wouldn't mind seeing Bronkhurst, but you would have to give him time. You would have to give him time to get things sorted and not be so quick. And luckily, in Chancery, we do have that. It is a chairman that is very, very good at giving managers time to try and improve it. We've seen that on 2 occasions now, and it'll be interesting to see what happens there. There isn't anyone like Bruce though without Houghton. Timing and everything. Reckon Bruce will take charge for the first 2 or 3 games and either get a permanent or new manager in Thornton. I think you're right. I think it's going to be very similar to what happened when he's had the job before. He had 2 or 3 games. We see how he is a situation where Chancellor will have it in his mind to go, this is a chance to see if he can do it and show me what he can do. And then if he doesn't like it, he can turn around and go, right, I'll get someone else in. We have to take our time with it, to be fair, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. We do need a wide player. We need a midfielder. Joss is looking very good. He's actually looking very good. Let's hope he learnt some of his lessons. Thierry Henry, no, I won't go for that. You either want to give it to someone who doesn't want to use as a stepping stone, or you want to give it to someone who is going to use it as a stepping stone, but they want to do it so they can get to the Premiership, not be like, I've done really well in this one season at Wednesday, and I'm going to go to the Premiership now. And our fans are hated at times. We are a fan. I'll put it bluntly, we're twats. We are very twats. When it's not going right, we are the most toxic bunch of fans ever. And we've shown that in the past. But I've been streaming now for, I think it's close to an hour nearly. So I'm going to leave it here. Thank you for the coming into the stream. I apologize that everything went wrong in the first stream. It really did fuck up. I will figure out what caused that. I have no idea. But thank you for watching yet again. And hopefully we'll have a manager situation sorted. There will be a preview to the Reading game either tomorrow or Friday. It's more likely going to be tomorrow. There will be a review after the game on Saturday. Wow, it feels weird saying that because it's gone so quickly. There will be a bit. I'll just put it out there now. I am potentially moving, hopefully, between the 7th to the 14th of August, finger crossed. So there might be a bit of a situation where there's no stream while I wait for internet to get set up. And there's more closer time, and I'll see you in the next one.